Hello, and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Salema Rice with Accenture, and we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT CDO IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Heidi Lanford, Chief Data Officer, and Paul Taylor, the Chief Executive Officer at Fitch Group. We all know that the role of Chief Data Officer is not for the faint of heart. So these are some of the toughest roles out there. What does a tough day look like for you, Heidi? Like, what are some of the key challenges, and what does a great day look like for you and your team?
As I mentioned, we're doing a lot of foundation building. We're building a new data platform. We have a new data governance tool. We're recruiting data owners to own various data assets, throughout the organization, which what Paul mentioned, that puts a little bit of pressure on our analytical team, because I think, as we all know, the best and proper owners of data are the folks in the business, for the most part, who know that data really well, but that requires a little bit of effort on their part to get that data defined and all that. And then we take care of all the rest to make it accessible, for the rest of the organization. But, when you have a new platform and you've got other teams or squads throughout the company that say, oh, it's easier if I circumvent this new platform, and instead of getting data out of this brand new platform that we've built that has all the bells and whistles, we still want to get it from this other place because it's easier. And I already have that code written, and I've got those skills, and I don't have the skills to, get data out of this new place, but I do have people who are ready to go and get it out of the old place. Mm-hmm. And so, it's part carrot and stick that we have to leverage, because we're building lots of great things. And in fact, data is going to be fresher, more accurate. There's going to be more of it. It's going to be better documented. It's going to be easy to get to in the new environment. In the old environment, it's going to start to lag, and it's not going to have all of those added benefits. And we try to use that as a selling point. Mm-hmm. But then also there needs to be kind of we got to cut this stuff off, and we've got to migrate. We have to migrate into this new environment, and we have to set some dates on when we're going to end of life some other things. And so knowing when to start using that and getting a little bit tougher requires a deep partnership for me with our CTO, because a lot of those resources and the ability to do that sits with him. So a tough day, though, is when we have to escalate those conversations. Now, to put it on the positive spin, a great day is when, we've gone live with something and we have somebody in the business that says, this is fantastic. You've saved me time. I'm never going back. And that's starting to happen with some quick wins that we've had over on the analytical side too, and with our solutions organization.
That's awesome. It sounds like you're kind of turning the corner on changing the culture where, we've always done it that way.
I don't think it's a corner. I think it's a long bend.
Yeah. I think you're right. It does. So this is kind of for both of you. Like, when you look back over the last 12 months, what is one thing you have each learned about positioning the Chief Data Officer for success as the newest member of the C-suite? Like, if you could write a headline, what would you say is the impact of the data transformation at Fitch these past 12 months and the 12 months from now?
First.
I think you should go first.
Okay. So my one's easy, which is, and it's actually a more general point than just with regards to our CDO, but it's particularly pertinent with regards to Heidi and her role. It's meeting people in person is really quite nice. You can be a lot more impactful. So Heidi spent the first 12 months or more doing this over video screens, and it's really hard, particularly when you're trying to make a change, to have a big impact when it's virtual. Even though everything was working, technology was great, it's really hard to get the messages across, to interact with people. Now, for the last, 4 or 5 months, we're in person much more. People are back in the office. And I can see the pace of change quickening because you can suddenly become more effective because it's easier to do it in person. So the CDO transformation we're doing is probably the best example in the firm of how important it is to get people back interacting.
Yeah, I think people like you better when you're doing a transformation role, when they actually can see you in person and you can have
chat in person.
Yeah. I mean, it's because what we're doing is hard. We're making, in a way, we're enabling lots of things. But we're also changing. We're upsetting the apple cart, big time. We're turning things on their side, and change is hard. And I think to sort of piggyback on what Paul said, the communications piece, it is multifaceted in a CDO organization. And in fact, in the past, this role and the role I had prior, the first person that I always look to hire is somebody handling communications, sort of change management and strategy, before all the technical folks, before the AI and ML folks, before the data platform team and governance and all of that. You've got to get the communications piece down. And it's more than just, having a great website or, intranet, email communications, meetings, etc. It's whiteboarding sessions. It's sitting down and listening to people. It's understanding what the day in the life looks like for them and being able to relate that back. And, honestly, that was a disadvantage for me in my first year here because I couldn't, I really couldn't do that. But in terms of, a headline, the biggest thing I see in the transformation that we're doing through all of the things that the CDO office has planned is about enabling breadth and scalability. And so I would love, a headline for a new Fitch product to essentially say, we couldn't have launched this product if we didn't have, this data organization doing all of these things for us. And so, Fitch's next new product was, delivered earlier than planned because of, our rich data assets and easy access to data to build this product out.
That's wonderful. Thank you. I love hearing that. Well, thank you both. Thank you, Heidi and Paul, for joining me today. Listeners, you can go to visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. And thank you again for being here today. I appreciate you both and look forward to hearing more about your journey in the years ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.